Hello and what is going on, lovely people of the internet? It is Hoop Money here with another video for you guys today. Today we are going to be going over this newly listed NASDAQ stock. This stock is pretty cool. It's a biopharmaceutical company. Well, it's a biopharmaceutical company with a twist, but we're going to be going over it today. I think this company has lots and lots and lots of potential. Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank is a big proponent on this stock, and now it's on the NASDAQ exchange, so it's easily accessible through platforms like Robinhood, like Public. All these platforms have access to this stock, so it's going to be very easy for you guys to invest in this stock. So we're going to get right into the analysis of why this stock could be a great long-term investment. Alright, so the stock that we are going to be going over that was newly listed to the NASDAQ exchange and now is trading on platforms like Robinhood is MNMD, which is a psychedelic medicine company. It is very unique and disruptive into many different pharmaceutical industries. So I think this stock has a lot of potential in the future, and we're going to get right into it. So it has seen a rough patch of a week. So it was listed on April 27th 2021. April 27th, shout out to me, that was my birthday. But anyways, it has seen a rough patch. As you can see, it IPO'd at $5.68 and now it's all the way down to $3.88. So you can see this as a buying opportunity, if you will, or you can see it as a bad stock, but I don't know. I think I see it as a 31% discount. As you can see, it's down 31% in the past week, and I've been looking to get into this stock for a while now, as it was trading over the counter on the Toronto Stock Exchange as ticker symbol MMEDF. It will be helping things like PTSD, depression, ADHD, etc. We're going to be going over everything it can do to help and disrupt the medical industry. But anyways, we're going to get right into it by looking at their website right here. As you can see, they're advertising a breakthrough mental healing. We help patients unlock the healing power of the mind through psychedelic inspired medicines and experimental therapies. So let's just come over here and take a look at their alternative medicines that they offer. So they have this thing called 18MC, and then they have microdosing LSD. So these medicines are derived from psychedelics but have zero to negligible hallucination effect. They're also prescribed by a doctor in accordance with diagnosis for purpose of healing, and they're picked up at a pharmacy. So if we click on 18MC, it brings up this thing that says addiction is a brain disease. So $500 billion is spent on the annual opioid cost in the United States. There has been a 395% increase in overdose deaths involving prescription opioids since 1999. And then there's 92 million people using opioids globally. So as you can see, the opioid crisis is quite literally taking over the world, with over a 400% increase in deaths over the past 20 years, and it is pretty insane. And this shows that there needs to be a cure for this, because obviously traditional treatment methods aren't working if it is increasing at such a high rate. So these alternative therapies, these experimental medicines, is what MNMD is offering, and that is why it is so disruptive, because this is a problem in society that needs to be solved. So basically how 18MC works is we have the dopamine level right here, which are these blue and pink lines that show basically the dopamine levels. So when you use a drug like opioids, you get increased dopamine levels, as you can see when this line turns pink, but your dopamine baseline is this gray line right here. So using drugs makes your dopamine baseline goes up, but as you get into the addiction phase of it, yes, you still get these dopamine hits every once in a while, but they aren't as extreme as they used to be, as you can see with these lower peaks right here. And then the baseline goes all the way down here, so you're overall deprived of dopamine if you are addicted to these substances. Then with the current treatment, it doesn't even bring up the baseline dopamine levels, so it doesn't actually heal these people, and this is why they always relapse and they always continue to be addicted. So current treatment doesn't work, but with 18MC, it keeps the dopamine at a relatively baseline level throughout the healing process, so they don't go down and experience these lower baselines. They actually bring up their baseline and become a normal human being and truly escape the addiction. So this is how far along they are in their clinical trial process. As you can see, they've already gone through the pre-discovery, discovery, preclinical, and phase 1. So they're on the phase 1B right now. However, it does need to go through these clinical trials and get FDA approval, which will be one of the next steps going forward. Alright, so now we're going to click on microdose LSD right here, and we're going to look at this. So it says Generation Adderall has grown up. So apparently there are tons of adults still suffering from ADHD, and ADHD is treated with Adderall, which is not the best treatment, as Adderall is particularly a pretty addictive substance and it could be destructive if not used improperly. So there are 10 million adults suffering from ADHD in the United States alone, and 10.9% of these adults with ADHD are receiving treatment. And between 2007 and 2016, the rate of ADHD increased in adults by roughly 123%. So this is an ever increasing thing that needs to be treated properly in order to be solved. And this right here is the issue. So existing medicines treat ADHD, but they're highly addictive and they have dangerous long-term effects, which microdosing LSD does not have the same negative effects as Adderall, as these other ADHD medications that have very, very harmful long-term effects on people's brains. And this right here is also very true. Many people do not get the treatment. Many people do not want to start taking Adderall to treat their illness. They prefer to suffer rather than taking the risk associated with taking these drugs like Adderall. So microdosing refers to taking a smaller, non-hallucinogenic dose of LSD. So LSD in larger doses does make you have hallucinations and it makes you see things. However, when you're taking a microdose, you're taking a sub-threshold dose that does not alter your mind in a hallucinogenic way. It just alters your mind in a healing way, in a way that helps with ADHD, and it does stuff like increase focus, increase creativity, decreases anxiety, and improve moods, which is great for people who are suffering from ADHD because they need to be healed and be more focused and creative and just all around better mood. So taking a look at their clinical trial sheet, you can see that they have also done all of the initial stages and they're now in 2A. So they are much closer than you would think to getting this to be FDA approved and actually put on the market. Now this is an interesting part of their website where they show where they've been in the press. So as you can see, Fast Company, Forbes, Bloomberg, the Wall Street Journal, Fortune, and Business Insider have all talked about this company and talked about its disruptive nature, as well as Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary. As you can see, he said that this could save lives, cure depression, help alcoholism, and get people off opioids. Why would I not want to be invested? Now, in terms of the market, as you can see, there's $4.7 billion in global annual anxiety drug sales, $9.5 billion in global annual ADHD drug sales, $5.8 billion of global annual anti-addiction drug sales, and then, I don't know if you can see this because my face might be covering it, but it's $9.6 billion of global annual depression drug sales. So guys, this is clearly a huge market that psychedelic medicine will be disrupting, as it is most likely the least harmful way of treating all these illnesses. So I see it as a great way to get into a company that is literally revolutionizing the way that illnesses are treated. So they're basically saying that the current solutions aren't working, and they are not working because they treat things like anxiety with benzodiazepines, like Xanax, like Klonopin, like these drugs that actually do more harm for you and increase your anxiety rather than actually treat your anxiety. It's like a little placeholder. Giving a patient some Xanax to treat their anxiety, sure, for 5 hours, they will feel less anxiety. They'll probably feel a lot sleepier, and they'll probably just go to bed and take another Xanax the next day. However, that's not treating them. That's like putting a band-aid over it, and then when it wears off, it just rips off, and then all the blood gushes out and the anxiety is back. And then the same thing for addiction. It's up about 400% since 1999. I know I said that like it was a stock, but obviously it's not a stock. And the increase in opioid deaths are just showing that the current treatment methods just aren't working. And then same thing with ADHD. There's been 123% increase in ADHD prevalence, and 89% of people are not receiving treatment. So ADHD is increasing, and people don't want to be treated. They don't want to take an addictive substance like Adderall to treat their ADHD. Then they say LSD may be a safer alternative, and benzodiazepines are 2 times more harmful than LSD. Guys, I'd go as far to say that benzodiazepines are way more than 2 times more harmful than LSD. And don't take my word for it, the numbers speak for itself. As you can see, the emergency room visits from cocaine use is 500,000. Heroin, 250,000. Cannabinoids, 500,000. Amphetamines, 160,000. But then there's LSD, and there's only 5,000, which is only a 0.4% of the ER visits. Now guys, these numbers could be a bit misleading because obviously cannabinoids aren't super harmful. Cannabis is not a super harmful substance, but it is more used than these other substances. So that being said, these numbers are a bit misleading because obviously not as many people take LSD as they take cannabinoids. So the numbers don't really show an adjusted percentage of these ER visits based on the number of people that use the substances. So they're basically separating these treatments into 2 different categories, which is non-hallucinogenic and then hallucinogenic. So they are experimenting with the hallucinogenic effects of these substances to basically treat anxiety and treat cluster headaches. And also their non-hallucinogenic effects, which we have gone over already, is for microdosing ADHD and then addiction. Alright, so taking a look at the team here, obviously you guys feel free to pause on this page if you want. I'm not going to be going too deep into this. However, the CEO right here, J.R. Ron, he is from Uber. We have Bruce Linton from Canopy Growth. And we've got Dr. Mary Halprin, who is from Merck and Acetylon. So she has actually more experience in these pharmaceutical companies, these traditional ones. So she will be the key to getting these approved. They also have this entire scientific advisory board that will help them study the brain and do all of these impressive neuroscientific things in order to get these substances approved and have the best capabilities possible. This is their balance sheet. So as you can see, their cash position has increased so much in 2020 to $80 million. So they have plenty of cash to invest in their research and development, up from $3 million in 2019. So they are growing at an incredibly rapid pace, and a lot of this was actually due to issuing a bunch of new shares, which we're going to go over all of that later. However, shareholders' equity did increase a lot, so there was dilution, but the company is worth more now, so take that as you will. Alright, so here is essentially their income statement, but they don't call it an income statement because there's absolutely no income with this company, which is definitely a risk. So this company may never receive income if they don't get approval, if they get completely shut down, if they go bankrupt, etc. However, as you can see, they call it the consolidated statements of loss and comprehensive loss. So as you can see, their expenses did go up. They went up around $14 million in 2020. As you can see here, their research and development went up a lot. Their general and administrative went up a lot. And their share-based payments went up a lot, which is probably the sketchiest expense here. But it's good that their research and development and their general and administrative are going up more, because that just shows how this company is growing at a very rapid pace. And once all the dilution is gone, you can see that there is a loss per share share of 10 cents opposed to 5 cents in 2019, which is pretty much to be expected with this expanding company. Now this you really do need to pay attention to. So they had in 2019, as of December 31st, they had 103 million shares outstanding, and now in December 31st 2020 they have 361 million shares outstanding. So guys, that is a huge risk if you guys are to invest in this company, because you very well may be diluted as a shareholder, which I always say is a risk here on this channel. Alright guys, that's about it for the analysis today. I really do like Mind Medicine, and I am going to be looking for an entry to this stock at this point. I think they are on the forefront of psychedelic medicine, and this psychedelic medicine is definitely going to be a disruptor in the pharmaceutical industry. Guys, Adderall is not a sustainable drug. Xanax is not a sustainable drug. The way that they treat these addictions and therapies right now are just not sustainable, and they need a better alternative, something that's healthier for you and healthier for your mind. And Mind Medicine is really taking initiative here and stepping up to the plate and delivering with fantastic clinical trials, way further ahead in them than I would have expected. And with a company like that, that is something you should just not ignore when you're an investor. So that's about it for the video for you guys today. I don't personally own any Mind Medicine, but like I've said throughout the video, I do want to get into this stock, but it just keeps going up, so it's hard for me to find a buying point. Yes, I wanted to get in around $1.50 a share, so it was much lower at that point when it was listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and now it is so much more. So I know I'm paying a premium right now, and I don't want to be paying that premium, so I'm hoping that it does a little bit of a correction and we continue to see it sell off a little bit, just so I can get in on this stock, because I am bullish on it. Perhaps I'll start selling cash secured puts on Mind Medicine now that it's listed on NASDAQ, and yeah, that's how I'm gonna play it going forward. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video for you guys today. If you guys are still here, wow, you guys are a trooper. This was a long video, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and leave a like if you guys did enjoy it so we can see more content like this in the future. But anyways, that being said guys, I'm gonna head out. Peace.